So, yesterday was the big announcement that they were going to remove Explosive Chain Battle after the 39th Chain Battle does end in January now. That is going to be the last one, and GP Global still has a couple of chain battles, I think like 3, including the 39th to go. But after all that is over, chain battle will be no more. There will be no more explosive chain battle, and there are actually a lot of people that are upset at it. I personally think that we'll talk about it here, but firstly, I just want to explain the decision was made based on feedback of many users, as long in combination with internal developer discussion. They feel that discontinuing the mode and investing their time into other new events and content will be a better use of their time and resources. They plan to cover skill orbs and other rewards through other content. So, I think a big thing is that the rewards and everything like that is still going to be covered through other content. We don't know how they're going to be spread out. We don't know if it's going to be easier to get those rewards or harder to get the rewards. It's all based on, if they're spreading out across multiple different pieces of content, if they're going to put in all into one new mode that's more difficult. We can't say because we don't know what's really going to happen. We just know that they're making this decision and they will have an alternative way to obtain these rewards. So that is at least a pretty nice thing. Now again, like I was saying, there are people that are upset about it and there are people that are very happy about it, and I understand. I think I do understand both sides. Me personally, I think it's a L decision, a very big one. So, in my opinion, chain battle being removed is a massive L decision. I think that removing content in general sucks, and it gave pretty good rewards as well. Luckily, at least the rewards are being distributed, but I think for how easy the mode was, I think people, like, I know a lot of people don't understand really how chain battle works. And, even as the players, we never really had a complete understanding of how chain battle works, but I mean, after 39 chain battles, we have a pretty good idea about how generally to get the best scores and what you should do. And along with that, there's like a huge community for chain battle. I mean, you guys know about the chain battle Discord that literally helped you reach top 1% if you really wanted to. And for me, it was fun for me to save like these extra copies of these characters. And I know that's kind of more like a whale thing, sure, but like I'm explaining why I personally had fun with chain battle. It helped me think about building my box more. I had fun communicating with people about chain battle, posting my scores, trying to get as best of a score as possible. To me, it was fun. And I think the thing is, most of the player base didn't really even try to give it attempts. I think that could be one thing where it's like, especially because the amount of players we see going to attempt the mode may be very low compared to, like, let's say World Tournament. Especially, because World Tournament, I think, I guess you could say it's a bigger thing because of the fact that you have to play the World Tournament to get the rewards many, many more times, right? Whilst chain battles, I think you only really need to play 5 minutes a day, which is the thing, for literally 5-10 minutes a day at most. And you could honestly get it done all in day one. You could just get all the rewards basically instantly, just for playing for 5 minutes at most. And I think that's pretty cool. But unfortunately that is being taken away, and it is what it is. But I do understand, again, a lot of people didn't like the mode. They felt it wasn't engaging to them, and at the end of the day, that is all opinion based. I understand that people were just not fans. My biggest disappointment with chain battle though is the fact that they never tried to change the mode. I mean, I think there was one time it's the amount of damage your characters do felt like it was scaled better or something. But other than that, there was literally zero attempts to try and actually change the infrastructure of how the mode worked, or maybe give us some more extra information about the mode. Nothing. There was nothing made in 36 chain battles. That's across the span of 2.5 years basically, where they didn't even try. And I think that's also very disappointing to me. where I think there were a lot of things that could have been done to try and change the mode, make the mode better, make it easier for free-to-play players, everything like that. But they just sat, twiddled their thumbs about this mode, and were like, well, oh well, and scrapped the entire thing. This was also due to player feedback, to be fair, but it's like, well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people didn't like Chain Battle when it first came out, and you know, that's pretty clear. I think as over time it got like softer and softer, more people, I think, especially in the like English speaking like global audiences, especially where we're like a community around like those Chain Battle guides and stuff like that, where, you know, I think outside of like even just like social media or JP players, I saw a lot of JP players under this post were very, very happy about the Chain Battle removal. I mean, I can go ahead and take a look here, like literally show y'all. Chain Battle abolished is too hot, right? They really liked it. Explosive Chain Battle abolished, and if you're so hot, right? If we take a look here, again, I have to keep translating them, but let's see. There's a couple more, right? Abolished baton as well. You did it. This is the reference to the Chain Battle being abolished right here. Explosive Chain Battle. That's reference to that. Let's see here. They're asking about abolishing Tenkaichi at the World Tournament at the baton. Chain was really bad content, so they're glad it's abolished. Again, I improved the friendship contracts. Okay, well, I guess you guys can see the brave decision to abolish Chain Battles is wonderful. I kept scrolling. I found a bunch of them. But yeah, I think a lot of people were happy, and at the end of the day, most of the player base didn't want it, and they could bring their time to other modes is fine. But like, it's been a pretty big, I think, outspoken thing for a lot of people at the same time that Chain Battle, they weren't enjoying it. So why would they not ever try to change it? It's just so weird to me. I don't get it. Maybe it's something with how like the dev team would operate, but like they made plenty of changes to World Tournament. They've you know, other modes, they made some certain changes, right? Like even with the newer red zones, we got new like more attempts of the event itself, right? Like the old red zones used to be 3 daily attempts, and now they're 5 daily attempts, right? So it's just and even with feedback, they like in certain times of the year they'll make it unlimited attempts. So I just don't really understand. But I did have a question, just generally. We'll cover this for the last section of the video. If you wanted to keep Chain Battle, what would you do to update the existing mode? So again, I do think that Chain Battle could have been saved. I think that Chain Battle could have been made to be a lot better, more favorable to the community. Not everyone was gonna like it still, and I think it would always have that bad rep. But I think that there are ways they could have updated the events to actually make it generally more likable, right? Because there's definitely issues to Chain Battle. I'm not gonna act like Chain Battle was some like mega great mode. In fact, I think it was still more on the bad side, but I really liked some of the aspects about it, and it did make me enjoy the game in some aspects. In other aspects, I feel like it could have really improved. But if you like Chain Battle's removal, why didn't you like it, and where would you want the focus for the extra dev time to go towards? So a double question for both sides of the spectrum, because again, I understand people didn't like it, and I see the points of where people would not like it, and it is good. This could be used to still better the game overall in terms of the dev time being put to other events or a new event that could be more engaging overall. I mean, we'll see. That only time will tell. Are there any quotes here? More boosted categories and change the advantageous character section to include a more wider variety. If there's like 4 or 5 categories boosted instead of 3, it would be more fun. Again, yeah, that would make it a lot more accessible to just the general player base. Though you could argue at the same time, if they did that, then it's like, okay, well, now it's even more like the same characters every single chain one that you want to use, which, I mean, technically that would benefit us, but people would be like, oh, that's just the same thing every time, right? Which is, I mean, to be fair, you could say that, and then if you like, then at that point, it's like World Tournament kind of, you know? Oh no. Anyway, well, okay, you're gonna answer the question, buddy. Come on, Freedom. You got that. Leave Chain Battle as it is, remove World Tournament baton, profit. I think, again, I think that if I was gonna choose to remove something, it would be World Tournament first. Um, like World Tournament basically just needs like a complete revamp. World Tournament has to be like a new mode. Like the existing World Tournament mode, like I don't even know if like if they feel they couldn't save Chain Battle, then World Tournament needs to be scrapped, and then something else needs to be replaced for it. It could still be called the World Tournament if anything, but like the current World Tournament mode is genuinely just awful. It's way worse than Chain Battle. It's like not even close. Um, and I feel like, I understand there's the reason why they probably wouldn't want to do that is because of like there's so a lot of rewards and cards and stuff like in there, and it's been going much longer than the chain battles, but still, Baton, I can live or like leave it, like keep it or leave it. Honestly, it doesn't really do anything, and honestly, it's kind of more on the annoying side at this point. Baton, like the rewards haven't changed. I haven't done anything to change Baton either. Like so that's annoying. Profit. Just have more free-to-play friendly lineups and explain how it fully works. Quite honestly, Chain Battle was what World Tournament should have been. So if they're going to remove Chain Battle, at least learn from it, because 3 days of World Tournament is exhausting compared to 5 minutes a day per Chain Battle. And then here, add more friend slots. That would help out, actually, I think. I don't know why like friend slots are still like limited to 100 people. Remove World Tournament, leave Chain Battle as it is. I think 10 characters is too much. You should only have one lineup that you need to set. If it was just the best characters your friend had set and not randomly automated across 10 characters, more people would have better lineups. I think that this makes a lot of sense to me, because like that's a huge RNG aspect that I think didn't need to be there. And I did, like in past videos I have said that before. Either like make it so that it's only 6 people in your lineup and your friends always will get those 6 characters. Or, like, worst case scenario, let you just choose the characters you want out of your friend's 10 lineup. That would have worked wonders too, and I don't think that would have been that hard to implement into the mode. And that would just make it way easier, right? Especially if you're joining those, like, Discords for, like, the chain battle setups, right? You just join on Discord, add a whale to your friend, and just because they're helping a lot of people doing that, and then you easily get a top 1% score. And speaking about that, again, I know a lot of people like, oh, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that, I have to get top 1%. I think a lot of people like had in their mindset that they have to get top 1% or like, one of the best scores basically, and you don't really. Like top 10% rewards were actually still pretty good, right? You still got like guaranteed gold skill orbs / silver skill orbs. You got a lot of like pools for the skill orb, like little things in there. There's like the box openings, right? There's still the same amount of stones you would be able to get. So it's really like I feel like people didn't understand that like you could still just get top 10% and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm good, I have a lot of rewards, right? But whatever. Make the best characters more obvious. Yeah, see, the colors were just like kind of annoying, like with the glowing colors. I think that was also a little annoying. Fill out 2 more for its removal, but you feel as though of the 3 side modes of Dokkan, you'd be the one to keep the most. So in that sense, it's being removed too soon. That time should go to be making more missions for red zones and improving the general gameplay loop of Dokkan, making grinding stuff easier and more exciting. Luckily, I mean, they are, like, with the power level update, it seems like there's going to be a way for, like, Dokkan event medals to be a lot easier to farm and things like that, which is really, really good. I would say that, if they use the dev time to make more, like, red zone missions and stuff like that in general, I think that'd be cool. And it seems like they have obviously new events planned in the future, so maybe just adding some extra touches to those new events, or even like adding extra touches to like upcoming characters would also be fine, right? So I think that's fine. Okay, I didn't mean to close that. That is my bad. Alright, we're back here. So among other things, yeah, increase everyone's max friends list. Easier to see Will's lineups even as guests. So like like if a person is getting like a top 1% score, and then like a lot of people are using their friends like list, why not push that to be way more recommended? Like the actual top scores and the characters that people are using the most. Like why not push that to be the recommended guest? Like again, they could have easily done that, and you don't even have to join like these well friends lists. You could see them like on guest lists more often. Like why are the people who are used the most in chain battle, not the ones that are like have a priority in being recommended to, right? Um, that could have been a thing, right? Very, very easily. And obviously wouldn't have been guaranteed to get them, but a higher priority to see those in the friends list would be good, rather than like they literally do show you like bad setups that no one actually uses. So like if no one would use a certain setup, why would it be recommended? I just, you know, it just makes the mode like a little more annoying to some people than it should have been. Less rely on the newest unit through attackers or connectors. Yeah, I think that is like a somewhat fair assumption. I think that a lot of chain battles didn't really rely on the new unit, and again, this is only really if you're going for the top 1%, like, you know, the highest scores. But like a lot of chain battles you could hit like even like a top 1% score without like the main newest unit or anything like that, right? Like the last chain battle, you wanted to use like Toa, like you wanted to use the 2020 heroes characters, the Toa, then the EZA Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, right? Actually explain the intricacies of the game mode for casual players to understand. Yeah, I agree. Cutting down the supports a person puts up would be good. Don't have to fish for a lineup, and if you can only ever get optimal lineup for your face, that'd be huge. Again, I agree. Just making it 6 characters, and then you always get that lineup, and then pushing whales like in the guest list, and then it's like that would even more just make it like, you know, oh, someone could probably just log in on like day 3, see all like the whales like really high and recommended because people use their like people use their setups a lot, and then it's like, oh, okay, I'll just select these really good ones, and then bam, you know. Yeah, see this right here, exactly 6 supporters and not only once. I mean, I think this is like not the worst thing, but I understand. Oh, you mean the supporters? Okay, so like, you know, the characters that you have. Yeah, I feel like that's fair. Like the supporters being once only, I think didn't really need to be like that. No time limit on the 3 supporters you choose, just arbitrary effect score. Okay, I mean, I think that's the time limiter was fine. I personally wouldn't really change that. I mean, if you need the extra time, most of us just like minimize the app anyways, right? Good categories of advantageous characters more often, right? Make it less pay to win. I would say it's probably one of the least pay to win like events in the game because of the fact that they, at least personally, well, not personally, but like, you know, if you're the player, you're relying on other people being whales. So like, it's like for free to play players, you could just, again, like I said, you could probably find like a pretty good setup without having to spend a dime in the game at all, right? So that gameplay wasn't fun at all. Motion box doesn't matter that much to you. Having to rely on other people isn't that fun, where most of the in-game friends are random people. So this is someone who doesn't like the chain battle. Okay, we're seeing a lot of these here. The random terrible chain battles are okay. Let me try to read some ones that people didn't like. Repetitive, boring, and stressful. Lost count how many times you set it on 2% because trying to find the proper setup is annoying. Yeah, see, again, this is a thing where I'm like, again, top 2% still gives you really good rewards. The only thing you're missing out is like, you're missing on like what? Like, I think like 5 potential equips, which is like, it matters, but it's not like the worst thing in the world. And then you basically every other rewards, maybe like 1 or 2 of the like guaranteed like your little like skill orb things, but not really a big deal. It's like the difference between top 1 and 2% is very negligible, right? And I think people are really like focused, oh yeah, you know, if I don't get top 1% score, it sucks. Like, no, not really. It's like World Tournament, just get 30 mil. Honestly, for a chain battle, just getting 100 mil is probably like good enough, right? Yeah, again, so someone likes it. You want to keep an idea for a change. Okay, yeah, again, just the newer units making it less reliable on it. You just didn't care, sometimes forgot to do it. It was an easy mode to get rewards, even if you didn't place high, but you just found it boring to use like those SSRs to yours in a mode where we're having to save them. kind of, I guess that's fair. Like, and I know this person says they like collecting SSRs, right? But I think a lot of people would be like, oh, you know, I'd rather like sell those dupes for coins, you know, and stuff like that. Um, let's see. You're okay with the removal, basically, because I don't like how it works. I would like to see an improvement into new missions for existing content and adding new stages. I can see a new stage in the movie boss's red zone for the Rudigarn fight. Yeah, again, that's fair too. All right, well, I pushed me all the way to the top after I exited that, so I think I just want to end it here. We read a few people saying why they didn't like it, a few suggestions for what they could have done to improve the mode. I think they could have honestly saved the mode. They could even add something to make it a little more engaging, but for like what chain battle wasn't aimed to like obviously replicate like, I don't know, obviously like red zone and stuff like that, right? It's a different game mode to give you a different spin on the game, right? You know, and if they just made it more simple, I think for the general player base, that would have been really good. And there were changes that they could have made to make chain battle super easy and just a lot more, maybe not necessarily like fun to a lot of people, but a lot more like enjoyable or like less annoying to the major player base. Which you could say like, oh, you know, most players find it annoying in the first place, so maybe the design of the mode itself is bad. Fair take, but you know, they could always make it better at least, and maybe some people would actually end up enjoying it. We'll never know though. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.